I'm Celisa Steele with Leading Learning, which is hosting the Learning Business Summit, and I want to welcome you to this session, which will be a demo of MapleLMS. The session will be led by Matt Peterson and Avin Tawari. They'll share with you for 30 to 35 minutes, and then we're going to pause for questions before we wrap up. And we do invite you to submit questions at any point as we go along. To do that, you can use the Q&A panel. And with that, over to you, Matt and Avin.
Thank you, Celisa. Good morning, everyone. My name's Matt. I'm the Relationship Director at MapleLMS, and today me and my colleague Avin will be presenting the MapleLMS platform. Want to thank to Leading Learning for inviting us to be part of the Learning Business Summit. And during our demo, we want to maximize the time on our platform, so I'm just going to provide just a brief introduction to MapleLMS. So MapleLMS is a SaaS-based learning experience and certification assessment platform. MapleLMS is a highly secure cloud-based white label LMS. We are ISO 9001 and 27001 certified. We're also a winner of the top 20 LMSs as recognized by Talented Learning. MapleLMS scales to fit in different sizes of professional organizations ranging from nonprofits, corporations, member benefit associations, trade associations, and so much more. MapleLMS can be accessed on any web browser and any device. MapleLMS is driven by AI-powered technology to promote continuing education learning paths and recommending courses to your learners. It supports continuing education through the course content. It can issue continuing education credits, badges, certificates, certifications. It's highly customizable and configurable to an organization's needs and use cases. We also do have offline iOS and Android apps available for offline learning. It's completely accessible to all learners, and MapleLMS generates revenues through our powerful e-commerce and microsite features. MapleLMS will help to save staff time and costs and enhance the user experience. And today we will also want to show you the power of integration. So we're a preferred partner with Salesforce CRM, Fonteva AMS, and ProTech AMS. And we are listed on the Salesforce App Exchange. MapleLMS has open APIs that can be integrated with any system of records, such as a CRM, HRIS, or AMS, creating a unified experience for your learners, and it reduces redundancies and errors, as well as provides powerful reporting synchronization capabilities back into your system of records. The two-way integration will feature single sign-on capabilities and the ability to view such items as learner transcripts, certifications, progress reports directly in your membership or community portal. You also have the flexibility in using your storefront within your membership portal or create a public-facing website to sell your courses, or you can use MapleLMS inbuilt e-commerce features. We also offer great certification and assessment tools that feature a question bank, face match authentication, a lockdown browser, and AI proctoring tools for high stakes exams like certifications. I also wanted to cover some key differentiators for MapleLMS. MapleLMS gives you all the tools you need to create engaging interactive content for your learners and provide a 360-degree experience in a world-class training and professional development program. Our implementation and integration team works closely with you to provide a custom configured solution during the onboarding to ensure you have the look and feel that you want from your platform, as well as the functionality of your workflows covered for your desired integrations. We have out-of-the-box integrations for Salesforce, Zoom, GoToMeeting, Microsoft Teams, and many more. The team will set up a testing staging environment so all functionality can be tested before going live to your learners. MapleLMS, in support of our goal for learning for all, we support over 24 different languages, and we offer great tools for those with hearing, sight, or learning disabilities. Also mentioned Maple LMS also offers Android and iOS apps for the on-the-go learning or offline learning, and it's also fully mobile responsive. So let's just quickly move ahead. Today we're going to present MapleLMS's learner journey and experience an out-of-the-box integration of MapleLMS with the CRM. We'll go through a user journey covering e-commerce, two-way data synchronization, single sign-on, and what an experience can look like and how MapleLMS writes back to your system of records. We're then going to switch to our administrative content creation tools in the system and finish up with our powerful analytics and reporting features. So at this time, good morning, Avon. Going to turn it over to Avon, and he'll get us started and kick off our demo.
Thank you, Matt, and good morning, everyone. I am quickly switching my screen over here, and we can dive right into the demo. Now, the first thing that I wanted to walk you through, or everyone over here, would be the integration capability of MapleLMS. That's one of the core solutions that we offer. Integration-wise, we integrate with quite a few platforms. Could be AMS system, Salesforce. We have an excellent integration with Salesforce, and many more AMS systems that we have integrated with, as well as CRM. So the core behind our integration is to create automations, and there are quite a few things involved within the integration, but some of the key items would be a single sign-on experience for an end user. So here I'm logged into one of the AMS sites as a user, as a learner, or even say member or a non-member. So when your members come to your, or say when your users come to your portal, to your membership portal, or say your AMS site, they might have an option to purchase a product, and that's where e-commerce comes into play. We'll also look at a couple of examples of e-commerce, but here, let's look at all the integrated workflows. So integration really involves e-commerce, single sign-on, and the most important part would be the two-way data synchronization between two systems, being MapleLMS and your AMS system, and how that data comes back to your AMS system. So we'll look at that. So as a learner, as a member, I come to the AMS site. I can browse products and trainings that are available. These could be individual courses, these could be certification programs, or even subscriptions. So members, or say users, come to your AMS site, they buy a product, and these products are actually mapped with courses and trainings residing in the LMS. So there's a mapping available between your products. And once a purchase has been completed by the user on your AMS site, they get immediate access to that particular product. So they can buy an individual course or a subscription or multiple courses at the same time through your AMS. And once the transaction gets completed, user gets redirected to the LMS. But if you're into the AMS, the user can also look at their profile in the AMS. They'll find a list of purchases that they have. And right now, I have a one learner subscription over here. So that subscription offers me access to multiple course catalogs, multiple offerings, educational offerings, could be courses, could be webinars, many more items. So yeah, so to access that subscription, I can access straight away from the AMS itself. So here I have a one learner subscription, and that gives me access to multiple catalogs. And now that's where a single sign-on comes into play. Assuming that we purchased a subscription, now we see that subscription in our AMS, we can click on Access Now. And that's where a single sign-on would come in and bring this user into the LMS without needing any additional credentials. That's basically a single sign-on. And now, once we are into the LMS, we can browse through multiple catalogs. So we can pick a catalog of choice. Let's say we're interested in certification programs. So that's going to show all the certification programs available in the LMS. And then I can either enroll or purchase that certification right from here. But the most important part over here now with the integration is the two-way data synchronization. And the way that happens is when your user goes to say your LMS, they consume a course, they maybe watch a webinar, take a few trainings. That training or learning data goes back to your system of records, to your association management system. And quickly, if you go to this AMS as an admin, and this is Fonteva, I can go to our contacts, and the contacts will show me a list of members, non-members, all the users in the LMS. And if we pull up an individual's contact record or a profile, then we have a list of items over here. So for example, user courses, that would give me a list of courses that this user is taking. So we have name of the course, progress within the course, completion status, creation dates, enrollment dates, and also expiration dates if there are any. We can track certificates achieved by a member or a non-member, any type of user. We can track their certificates, achievements. We can track their badges within the AMS itself, and we can also track credits that a member has achieved out of different courses, along with the credit values as well as credit types. That being a fairly straightforward integration where we have 3 data points coming from the LMS to your AMS system, that being courses a user is taking, credits that they've achieved, and certificates that they've achieved. But there could be quite a few data that can be pushed to your AMS system, such as data around live classes or even webinars. And once you have this data coming in, you then have flexibility to create quite a few reports and dashboards. So this would just be an example of a sample dashboard where we can track how many certificates every member or a user has achieved. We can track their course enrollments right over here. We can also track credits allocated or issued by each course. So this would be an aggregated value. And course completion status as well. So we can look at how many courses a user is taking, how many completed, how many in progress, and how many have not been started. And from here, I'll quickly navigate into a different account. This would be another instance of MapleLMS, and this is one of our demo sites. Now, there are quite a few tools that are offered to an end user when they come to the dashboard. This would be the dashboard page. On the dashboard, first I have a list of trainings and courses that I'm currently enrolled into. Each of these courses also indicate my progress, so showing my progress within that course. You have a view of your upcoming events. So if you're scheduled into or enrolled into any webinars or live training sessions, then you have a track of that right over here. There's also an LMS calendar, which can be synchronized with your personal calendar. So you get all your learning events synchronized with your personal calendar. Accessibility tools is one of the most important features over here, and mainly for visually impaired or hearing impaired individuals, these accessibility tools would come into play. Tools such as changing the contrast of the screen to a darker contrast, to a lighter contrast, and also have an option to reset back. We can increase, we can decrease the screen size, the font size. There are quite a few tools that come along with these accessibility. There's also text-to-speech supported, and closed captioning or subtitles is supported as well, particularly for videos. You have tools to offer personalized learning experiences through learning paths. Learning paths would basically be a group of courses combined in a sequential pattern. So a learner goes through the first course in the learning path, complete the first course, and then get access to the next course available in this entire path. And in some cases, if you have a learning path for a particular certification program, then there could be a certificate residing within a learning path. And once a user completes all the courses within the learning path, they can be awarded with a certificate right away. The recommendations is also one of our core strengths. So we have ways to recommend appropriate courses to the user. Now, this could depend on an attribute from their profile. So maybe based on past purchases, or if if the user belongs to a specific trade, let's say physician, and we want to recommend specific courses to a physician, then you have tools to do that. So from here, I'll quickly dive into some examples. So I have a few examples over here for different types of courses. This would be an example of a fairly simple self-paced online course, and we are looking at a course page in one of our standard formats, being the topics format. Now within a course, again, there are quite a few widgets and tools that can be enabled, such as gamification elements, and this would be a concept of leaderboard, where I can get points for completing certain activities, such as watching a video or submitting a response or viewing a course module would give me certain amount of points, and that goes into a leaderboard as well. Your courses can contain quite a few multimedia items. Multimedia wise, we support pretty much any multimedia file. And we also provide tools to help you create your own content. So if you're working with videos or presentations, or would like to build some learning content for your users, you have tools available in the LMS to do that. For example, if we look at this video, this is a video which is actually available on YouTube. So we can either add a video through YouTube or any publicly available video through a URL, or we can upload a video as a video file. But once you have your video, you can layer different interactions on top of your video just to make it more interactive. Interactions could be knowledge checks, and these could be at different timestamps. Once a interaction has been triggered, it appears on top of the screen. So the video gets paused and the user is presented with a question about the video that they're watching. Now, these questions are usually knowledge checks, and there are certain different question types supported, such as a multiple choice question, a drag and drop question, a fill in the blank question type, and if needed, we can also support some conditional branching. So if a user goes with the wrong answer choice, they can be sent back into the video to the very beginning or to a particular timestamp. So they watch that particular section again, come back to this interaction, and hopefully go with the right answer choice. But apart from that, SCORM packages are also well supported. So we support SCORM 1.2 and above. And these could be easily uploaded within a course as a learning activity. Apart from videos, you have tools to add PDF resources as well. So PDF files, Word documents. You have tools to assess your users through quizzes and feedback surveys, and also have ways to offer certificate of completions and allowing users to claim credits. Now I'll come to the credit part. There are quite a few ways to issue credits within MapleLMS. So it could be a manual process as well. For example, you complete a course, you unlock your certificate, and you unlock an option to claim any CE credits, or credits can be automatically allocated or automatically issued as well. But quickly, showing you some examples over here. So if we go into certificate of completion, I've already completed this course and I've unlocked a certificate. I've unlocked a badge over here. I've received some credits for completing the course. But when a user completes the course, they can access the certificate right away. And your certificates can be customized as well. So you have options to add your own designs. Your certificates can include signatures, QR codes, the date of issue, the date of expiration, credit type, and the credit value that a user has achieved. And if needed, users can share their certificate as well to their LinkedIn profile. Now, apart from self-paced courses, you also have options to create packages. So this would be an example of a package, and that basically being used for a learning path. Packages are group of courses similar to learning paths, but you have options to pick and choose the right course and link that into a package. Now within this package, I can see my progress within each individual course. And each of these courses, since these are individual courses, they can have different learning activities. So maybe the first course is just a self-paced online course. Second course could contain some live virtual training, maybe a webinar or an in-person training event as well. And lastly, you might have some certification exams scheduled within a course. Third example over here would be around webinars. So this is just a fairly simple example of a webinar. Webinars are again scheduled within a course, so you can use an entire course or a course page to set up a webinar experience. And in this case, I've also enabled a option to purchase this webinar. So these would be using the tools that we have within the system, like the e-commerce tools that we support. And I'm using a payment gateway over here, Stripe. And with that tools, you have options to create discount codes as well. So something like a flat discount, or a percentage discount, or a specific value discount. Those options are available. We can create multiple coupon codes. User goes to make a purchase, they can apply a coupon code, get a discount on the overall cost, and once they hit buy now, it then redirects the user straight to the checkout page of your payment system. So in this case, we're using Stripe, and it's just redirecting me to Stripe. I'm going to add a dummy card over here and quickly make a transaction. So let's add that and hit pay. And once the payment goes through, the user gets access to that purchase immediately. So this was a webinar. We are purchasing that webinar and we get access to the webinar course right away. We can look at the schedule, the learning objectives. There's a option to join the webinar and an option to take a post-webinar survey. And that basically unlocks once you actually engage into the webinar. So if we just go in over here, we'll see an option to join this particular event right from here, some description, and it can contain an image as well. From here, let's go to the profile of this user and look at some options over here. Now in the profile, we are tracking interest of an individual, and these interests basically help the LMS to recommend courses. And one more item that refers to integration is to bring any attributes from your AMS to the LMS to make some automations. For example, here I have a membership type of this user. Now this is coming from the AMS. This is a non-member. And that way, LMS can identify if it's a member or a non-member and maybe offer access or provide access to courses or trainings which are specifically available for a non-member. Now here we have a achievements tab. This is where I can track all my badges, all my courses, all my certificates, as well as if there's an expiration to the certificate, the expiration date shows up over here. And the most important part would be tracking credits. Now there are a couple of blocks over here to track credits. You have achieved credits and you have credits that you have manually claimed. There's a whole log available for the credits. So if we go into that, a user can look at all the credit values and the credit type that they've achieved for taking a course on a specific date and time, if it was issued, if it's expired, and if it's automatically awarded. They can filter by credit type. For example, if we look at all CEs that we've achieved, we can filter it that way and look at all the CE credits that we have achieved out of different courses and see if there's any credit type or a credit that's expired. So users have a full view of all their achievements, their credits, their certificates. They have access to that information. They can download their transcripts as well. So if a user wanted to export a list of courses that they've completed, they can export into a PDF format. Or if they wanted to look at all the badges, they can look at all the badges and also share these badges on social sites. From here, I'll quickly navigate into an admin account and walk you through some of the most important features over here. Now, one of our key differentiators is a feature known as microsite. Microsite is basically an individual learning portal. So we support multi-tenancy architecture, And that allows you to create multiple learning portals within your system. That could also be a ways to generate non-dues revenue, specifically when you have member organizations. If you're a trade association, you can offer dedicated learning portals for pretty much every member organization. There's no limit to the number of microsites that you can build. It's just a way to segregate users, segregate content, and basically have multiple portals running for different audiences and to provide them personalized experiences. So I'll just quickly show you an example. I'm going to switch into a microsite from here. For example, we're looking at Pacific Clinics now, and we can already see a different look and feel. So different colors, different logos, and a microsite can be branded that way. Those are some core use cases for a microsite, particularly if you're an association, if you have member organizations. This could be a way to monetize on that or generate non-use revenue apart from selling courses or selling trainings. From here, there's also a core feature that we recently implemented. Now, this is known as support, and this support feature basically allows you to self-manage your user support. So that would be for your end users, for your members and non-members. The support tab basically allows a user to raise a support ticket, and that goes to your LMS admin, and admins can view this dashboard. So this would be a support dashboard where you can track all the support tickets that you've received, the status of those tickets, and then you have ways to either view, respond, and close this ticket. You also have a way to escalate this ticket to MapleLMS support if needed. So for example, if we go into view or reply, we'll see what this support ticket is about and the status if that's been changed by a specific user. Now, one of our core strengths is also analytics. So we provide you with quite a few tools to build analytics. For example, this would be a real-time reports dashboard, real-time analytic dashboard, and it gives you insights on your active users, your course enrollments, your completion rates. You can easily track course progress right from here. So we can pick a course and look at the real-time data of that course. We can export these reports in multiple formats. We can also schedule an email report, something like a weekly or a monthly email report that goes to a specific individual. We can track our popular courses and look at the number of enrollments, visits, and completions within those courses right on this block, right on this dashboard. And you also have options to create customized report. You have options to track your daily activities, the number of learners and instructors logged in a day, the number of enrollments and activity completions or course completions in a day. We can also track our inactive users. So these would be users who have an LMS account but don't really log in. So we can export their information into a CSV or an Excel format or create a completely customized report as well. Since we are talking about reports and analytics, one of the most important reports would be around your live trainings and even your webinars. And for that, we have a very specific report available. Now, this is known as a attendance list, and we're looking at an example of a Zoom attendance list. A similar report is also available for Teams and other web conferencing applications. For example, here we can track all the users who attended a particular live class or even a webinar, the name of the course where this live class or webinar was scheduled, the attendance status of each user, and we can also set a session engagement criteria. We can look at the engagement of the user. So for example, this user was in this webinar for about 71% of the overall duration. We can track the joining time and leaving time of a user, as well as the overall duration spent by the user on this particular webinar or a live class. And most importantly, this data can be pushed to your AMS as well. So whether it be Fonteva, whether it be ProTech or any other AMS system, we can push this data to your contact records in AMS, so you can track all of that within your AMS itself. Now also, let's just say if we go into the details of this live class that we just conducted, this is one of our recent live class. It was a training session. So two things that we can look at over here, we have sessions report and we have the recording of that particular live class. And that's one of the neat features of this integration between MapleLMS and a web conferencing platform. You're able to track the data of that particular session. And if you conduct these sessions through MapleLMS, these sessions will be automatically recorded and uploaded back within your LMS, within your course in the LMS as a recording. For example, we have the recording right over here. And if we go into session reports, then we can actually look at the number of users who attended this particular event and the ones who did not attend this event. So we can go to the list of non-attendees and we can send them a notification right from here. So an email notification, or we can export their information into an Excel format as well. And in addition to report, this is one of our recent developments, a time spent report. So this report will allow you to track how your users are engaging within the system, how much time they're spending on a particular item. And these analytics are on a user level as well as on a course level. For example, we can look at the top 10 users over here. So these would be users who are spending the most time on your LMS site. We have top 10 courses, and this is where you can look at the overall time recorded on a particular course. For example, if we go into view more, we'll look at a list of courses, and if we wanted to look at the details of a specific course, say this one, then we go into detail, and that's going to give me a list of learning activities or content available in this course. So this course has a video, a quiz, some resources, a feedback survey, a certificate, and for example, if we look at the details of this video, we can now track how much time each user has spent on that video. So this user spent about 54 minutes on the video. This user spent just about 30 seconds on this video. And this data can be exported as well. It's actually available right within the course as well. And similarly, there are some predefined reports available right over here. So we can look at reports specific to a course. We can look at reports specific to a user. So generating user transcript is also an option over here. For example, if we take this user, we can look at all the courses this user is taking and the progress within each course. We can track the date of completion, and we can also track the time of completion. We can export this individual's data into multiple formats. Lastly, one of our core features is also notifications. So users can be automatically notified from the system, and these notifications go out automatically. There are about 50 plus notifications available. Currently, I've just disabled all my notifications on this demo site, so we are seeing those in gray, but we can enable those notifications anytime, and we can customize a notification as needed. For example, a course completion email, I can go to edit, and I can customize this notification. So I can add my own language. I can change the existing language. We can include an image, if needed, an HTML code. We can add a signature, and we can customize the frequency of a recurring notification as well. With that, Matt, I'm just going to pause for a while. If you see any questions that I should answer, let me know.
Yeah, I've been trying to answer them as we went along. Rob asked, can we set up the criteria for attendance where the participants should be marked absent in case their participation is less than, like, say, 30% of the live session?
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what attendance feature is about within with Zoom or Teams, any of those web conferencing platforms. Basically, we can set a criteria. So Let's say if we have a webinar for about 1 hour and we want a session engagement for about 20%. So we can add that value when we are setting up a webinar within MapleLMS. And in such cases, if a user joins that webinar and they do not spend, say, 20% of time of the overall duration, then the system will automatically mark them as absent for that particular event, and also can send out a notification that you were marked absent for this particular event because your session engagement was less than 20% or 30% as described in the criteria. Now, on top of that, when you set up a webinar, because it's an activity, it's a learning activity within a course, you have options to set activity completion criterias. And what that does, in fact, let me give you an example. So something like, let's say we have a webinar for 1 hour and we want everyone to join that session, as well as we want them to spend about 50% of time of the overall duration. So you should be in the session for about 30 minutes if it's a 1 hour webinar. And if you fail to do that, then you won't be able to check this activity as completed. And if you go beyond 30 minutes or say 50% or that criteria, then the system is will automatically mark completion of that activity for that specific user. So those are some settings available with the web conferencing platform, web conferencing integration.
Well, great.
Great.
Thank you for that overview of MapleLMS. What we wanted to do is now turn to Q&A. And so if you have a question and haven't sent it in yet, now is a great time to do that. But I wanted to sort of kick off the Q&A part, Matt and Avon, with a few questions that align with the overarching themes of the Learning Business Summit, namely reach, revenue, and impact. So I'm just hoping maybe you can give us a quick sort of short answer to each of these. And first is, could you talk briefly about how your platform helps organizations reach more of the right learners?
Sure, great questions, Lisa. I'll take that one. So an LMS can play a crucial role in reaching the right learners by providing the tools and features that facilitate targeted and personalized learning experiences. So there's many that I could probably mention. One that I'll first mention is with MapleLMS, we can create a public-facing web page to advertise all your courses to your learners and make sure that that page is available to search engines when people are looking for content. We also can really keep a learner engaged and wanting to come back to the LMS by using such things as their user profile to build their preferences, their roles, their learning history, to make sure that we're recommending new content that may become available to them. So content could also be exposed based on the particular role that an individual has. MapleLMS also supports a competency-based education, which allows your learners to really create a very curated individual learning plan based on any competency gaps that they've identified. And the LMS can be used to identify any of those skill gaps. The automated recommendations, as we mentioned, the learning analytics, I think, really provides insights for all your learners. Another way you can kind of build exposure to your learning content with MapleLMS, since we allow individuals to share their certificates, their designations, their badges across social media platforms, that can often drive traffic to your LMS as well. There's many other tools that I think help to drive this engagement and to reach your learners. But those are kind of some of the main ones that I wanted to focus on.
Well, great. So thank you for that. Next question is, if you could talk a little bit about how you help organizations achieve their revenue goals. I think you probably already touched on some of that in the demo, but again, maybe you can just highlight a few aspects that you want to make sure that people walk away knowing about.
Yeah, so I can take that. Well, revenue goals differs according to organization to organizers. Some organizations, they're just out there to sell their products. So learning products such as courses, webinars, and different offerings. So we provide tools, the platform support tools to sell and monetize on your content. And one of the key differentiators that we just looked at a few minutes back was a microsite. That's a really game changer for offering individual learning portals to member organizations, external partners, affiliates, and monetizing on that would be one way to go. We constantly keep evolving or upgrading our e-commerce systems just to make those transitions as feasible as possible. Also, when considering integration with an AMS system, as I said, our integration is really excellent when it comes to e-commerce. So if you have a storefront and that's selling your products, then we can support through the e-commerce capabilities between MapleLMS as well as your integration, make that integration happen, and create a seamless flow for all your users. Now, on top of that, you also have ways to monetize in different currencies. So if you're planning to expand and sell in different countries, then probably having a microsite for a different country would be a way to go. And charging in that specific currency is also an option available. So quite a few tools that come along. And then on top of that, if needed, just to promote your content, there could be promotional banners, advertisements that you can post on the website, as well as on the LMS site. And maybe allow group subscriptions, group offers, coupon codes, and many more ways to monetize and sell your content. So overall, quite a few tools come along with our system already built in that help you monetize on your content from the get-go.
Great, thank you, Avon. And so then last question before we turn to the questions that attendees have is, how do you support organizations in showing impact? Again, just sort of a short comment there around that.
Yeah, definitely through our excellent reporting tools. There are already quite a few reports that will allow you to track comparison between how your courses are doing. So comparing between two separate type of courses or separate type of offerings. On top of that, you have custom report builders. So any kind of analytics that you'd like to generate, you have tools to create those analytics within the system itself. So I'll say, in a nutshell, firstly, the reporting tools that we have. Secondly, the same data going to your AMS or to your system of records will also allow you to look at those reports or generate such reports and track what the impact is for your courses, for your trainings, maybe based on purchase, maybe based on engagement by users, all of that through a robust reporting tools.
Great, thank you. So I know that we have had a number of questions. Some of them have been answered. So I'm going to try and prioritize the ones that I haven't yet seen an answer to. Colleen has asked about if you can provide a bit of an example or around how learners identify learning gaps.
So
Yeah, I
they,
think,
yeah,
go
Mo,
ahead,
go
David.
ahead.
You can take it.
Yeah, so I think one way to do that would be through using our competency frameworks. That's a robust setup. It does require some setup. You have to build your competency framework. If you have an existing framework, you upload that. You link competencies with different types of courses. And to identify a gap, you can probably have a course with just an assessment or a couple of assessments specific to a topic relating to a competency. So you have that linked. User comes in, they take the assessments. Once the assessment gets completed, they're presented with a feedback as well as a could be presented with a list of competencies that they're short of. So it's really through our quizzing capabilities or assessment capabilities, where a user is required to take an assessment. Depending on their answers, depending on what score they achieve out of that, system can recommend courses and provide a list of competencies that they're not competent with or competent with. And once you have identified that, after taking a quiz, you can immediately navigate to a list of, say, competencies that you should be taking, or courses linked to competencies that will allow you to get proficient with that specific competency. So it's a very linked process, I would say. It's a robust setup, but that's doable. Yes.
And then Susan has asked if MapleLMS can be used for credentialing and re-credentialing. So for example, a certificate that expires in 2 years and there's continuing education requirements to recertify. And does MapleLMS allow for learners to add continuing education achieved outside of MapleLMS.
Matt, you want to take that?
Sure, absolutely. Many of our associations in particular love our credentialing and CE management tools. So we do have all the tools to support exactly what you're saying, Susan. Credentials or certificates can have expiration dates. You can have automatic email notifications go out to those learners as they approach that expiry to notify them that they need to recertify or what they may be missing. Our system keeps track of all the CE credits and can keep track of what they've earned in their recertification time period. And then we also do allow learners to claim credit that may have been earned outside of the LMS. So the LMS will award CE credits based on activities taken in, but then we can also allow learners, and if you want them to upload maybe a syllabus of a course or a certificate that they earned in a course or a live event that they earned outside of the LMS, that's supported. And a notification could go to an admin if it needed to be reviewed by someone on staff to confirm that they have the appropriate credentials. That is also supported.
Well, great. And with that, we are at the end of our time, but I do know that I'm sure MapleLMS would be happy to answer questions. You can feel free to reach out to Matt, and I'm sure he would help answer questions that we weren't able to get here today. So with that, we're at the end of this demo that is part of the Learning Business Summit. Matt, Avon, thank you for showing us MapleLMS.